Friends and relatives, we have come here today at the invitation of Luke and Jessica. They're sharing the joy of their wedding. This outward celebration that we shall see and hear is an expression of the inner love and devotion they have in their hearts towards one another. I believe marriage is of God, and Luke and Jessica come today desiring to be united in the sacred relationship of marriage. Who is giving this woman to be married to this man?
Her mother and I.
Alrighty.
Made it.
Okay, deep breath. Here we go. Everybody please be seated and remember to shut off those cell phones. Thank you. For those of you who don't know me, which is probably a lot of you as I look out here, I've known Luke since he was a small child. Luke was a small child at one point. I just want to let you know that. Didn't last for long, but he was a small child. He and my son Dylan, they went to school together since first grade. They played baseball together. In fact, Luke's dad, Steve, coached on one of Dylan's teams, and if I'm not mistaken, Steve, that was an undefeated season? Oh, yeah? In his dreams. Yeah, okay. And Dylan and Luke, they both attended college down in San Luis Obispo area, so their friendship continued throughout those years. With much socializing at the infamous Mustang Village. If anybody has heard about the Mustang Village, a lot of people met there. As a matter of fact, that's where Luke and Jessica met. As they say, the rest is history. Which brings us to this beautiful setting today here at Lake Tahoe. I felt both honored and privileged when Luke and Jessica asked me to officiate their wedding. Still trying to figure out why me, I have really no clue. I'm not a pastor. I do play bass in my worship team at church, so I think that's kind of the closest that we could get right here. So that's why I'm here, but I promise I will not be playing any bass today. This is their day. And we've all been to many, many weddings, but as I said, this is a very, very special day in that it's Luke and Jessica's wedding, and theirs alone. We come together today not only to celebrate the union of these two, but also to celebrate love, commitment, and unity. We celebrate love that Luke and Jessica have for each other, a love that is so strong that they want to spend the rest of their lives together as husband and as wife. We also celebrate commitment. You can't run away, girl. You're here now. Not just the commitment that Luke and Jessica pledged to each other, but the commitment that we, as family and friends, make to Luke and Jessica, to see that they continue to honor the vows that they're making to each other today. We're there for their support, advice, and direction, and it is our commitment to see that this marriage is a successful one. So it's not only their responsibility, it is all of ours to be there to help them and guide them. Finally, we celebrate unity, the coming together as one. Genesis 2:24, for this reason a man will leave his father and mother and be united to his wife, and they will become one flesh. Now Donna, Luke's mother, will read from 1 Corinthians.
Love is patient, love is kind, love is not jealous. Love does not brag, and it is not arrogant. It is not jealous, and it's not unbecomingly. It does not seek its own. It is not provoked, and it does not take into account a wrong suffered. It does not rejoice in unrighteousness, but rejoices with the truth. For love bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, endures all things, but above all, love never fails.
Very good. Thank you, Donna.
Thank you.
The ceremony of marriage in which you come to be united is one of the first and oldest ceremonies in all of the world, celebrated in the beginning in the presence of God Himself. Marriage is a gift in that we give ourselves totally to one another. And I believe that marriage is a gift given to comfort the sorrows of life, and to magnify life's joys. Marriage is the clasping of hands, the blending of two hearts, the union of two lives into one. Your marriage must stand not by the authority of the state, nor by the seal of your wedding certificate, but by the strength and power of the faith and love you both have in one another. Human bonds are like the interlocking fingers of two hands. Human bonds are meant to be like two hands folded together. They can move away from each other while still touching with the fingertips. They can create a space between themselves, a little tent, a home, a safe place to be. True bonds among people point to God. They are like prayers in the world. Sometimes the hands of prayer are fully touching. Sometimes there is a distance between them. They always move to and from each other, but they never lose touch. They keep praying to the one who brought them together. Now will you please pass your flowers? Turn and face each other. Join both hands. And express your vows of love and devotion to each other. And I think Luke, she's also already taken command and said, you're the first one to go, right?
All right.
All right.
Okay.
We have the microphone.
Want to go?
I'll hold it.
Hold it. Thank you. Jess.
I'm Jeff. That's Jess.
I know. Most kids who grew up in the 90s grew up sitting on the couch mornings and nights watching Disney movies. After getting to know you and getting to know the Alameda family, I know without the shred of a doubt Disney's a big part of your childhood. When you were a little girl, you watched all the princess movies where she met her Prince Charming. They locked eyes. It was love at first sight. They got married and lived happily ever after. Well, here we are living out our love story. And we both know our story does not match the Disney fairy tale. I've pretty much been courting you for 14 years and I've dwindled you down until you said yes. But I'm glad it happened this way. I'm glad it happened this way. 14 years has given me time, has given me an opportunity to grow as a person who partied too hard that you live next door to and turn into the man I want to be, giving me time to figure out the man I want to be and the type of woman I want to be with. This woman needs to be strong-willed, dedicated, loving, have a great sense of humor, and love visiting a new brewery. You are all these things and more. You know when to put me in my place and when to let me be me. You know when to leave me alone and when I need someone to talk to. And most importantly, you know how to make me think I call all the shots when really you do. I hope to exceed all of your expectations and be the man that you deserve. I promise to push you when you need it and when to ease off. I promise to not let any issues linger and talk about them and get through them as a team. I promise to not ask you to change in ways I'm unwilling to change. I promise to notice and acknowledge the positive things you do rather than get hung up on the negatives. I promise to not take your annoying behaviors personally, even though I really, really wish you wouldn't leave dishes in the sink. And I promise to give everything I am to you and grab life together.
All right.
You got this.
Okay. The night after our first date, technically our second first date, I went out dancing with coworkers and wound up on crutches. For the first 2 months of our relationship, you had to lift me in and out of your truck. Little did you know that was just the start. Over the last 4 years, you have lifted me on days that I am down. You lift me up on days I think I can't handle school or the days I struggle at work. You cook meals on nights I have to study, clean the house on weekends I'm in class, and have even surprised me with the car wash more than once. You motivate me to be a better person. Because of you, I strive to be nicer, more positive, and more patient, because you deserve nothing less. All this time I've been looking for my Prince Charming, but what I've found in you is so much better. In you, I've found a partner, someone who stands by my side, and your presence has brought calmness and clarity to my world that my friends and family have seen a visible change. Today I make a promise to you to be your partner and to remain present. I promise to challenge you to be the man I know you are. And most importantly, I promise to always make our relationship a priority, never taking it for granted. I love you, and I'm so excited to today become Team Bovita.
Okay, very good. That's excellent. Okay, now Luke, here comes the hard part. Will you please repeat this vow to Jessica, saying after me, I, Luke, take you, Jessica, to be my wife,
I, Luke, take you, Jessica, to be my wife,
to have and to hold from this day forward,
to have and to hold till this day forward,
for better or for worse, richer or for poor,
for better or for worse, for richer or for poor,
in sickness and in health.
in sickness and in health.
I promise to love and cherish you.
I promise to love and cherish you.
Luke, do you promise to take Jessica as your wife?
I do.
Jessica, will you please repeat this vow to Luke, saying after me, I, Jessica, take you, Luke, to be my husband,
I, Jessica, take you, Luke, to be my husband,
to have and to hold from this day forward,
to have and to hold from this day forward,
for better or for worse, richer or poorer,
for better or for worse, richer or poorer,
in sickness and in health. I promise to love and cherish you.
in sickness and in health. I promise to love and cherish you.
Jessica, do you promise to take Luke as your husband?
I do.
Having this kind of love in your hearts, good answer, for one another, you have chosen to exchange rings as a sign and seal of your promises you're making to one another today. Do you both have rings for each other?
Hope so.
That's man.
Thank you. Rings are very large in their significance. They are made of a precious metal and precious stone. And that reminds us that love is not cheap nor common, but indeed love is very costly and dear to us. These rings are also made in a circle, and their design tells us that we must keep love continuous throughout our whole lives, even as the circle of the ring is continuous. As you wear these rings, whether you're together or apart, or for even just a moment, may these rings be a constant reminder of the promises you're making to one another today. Luke, will you please take this ring and place it upon the third finger of Jessica's left hand? That's the right one. And holding her hand in yours, repeat this promise to Jessica, saying after me, with this ring, I seal my promise
With this ring, I seal my promise
to be your faithful and loving husband,
to be your faithful and loving husband,
as God is my witness.
as God is my witness.
Jessica, will you please take this ring, place it upon the third finger of Luke's left hand. Holding his hand in yours, please repeat after me, saying, with this ring, I seal my promise
With this ring, I seal my promise
to be your faithful and loving wife,
to be your faithful and loving wife,
as God is my witness.
as God as my witness.
I'd like to share a quick poem entitled True Love. True love gives nothing of itself and takes nothing but from itself. Love does not possess, nor would it be possessed, for love is sufficient unto love. Love has no other desire but to fulfill itself, to awake at dawn with a winged heart and to give thanks for another day of loving, to rest at noon and meditate upon love's ecstasy, to return home at evening with gratitude, and then to sleep with a prayer for your beloved in your heart and a song of praise upon your lips. You ready? Luke and Jessica, you have come here today before us and before God and have expressed your desire to become husband and wife. You have shown your love and affection by joining hands and have made promises of faith and devotion, each to the other, and have sealed these promises by the giving and the receiving of the rings. Therefore, it is my privilege, by the powers vested in me, now I pronounce you husband and wife. Luke, you may kiss your wife. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to introduce to you for the first time Mr. and Mrs. Luke Bovita.
Thank you.